You've heard this before. Life is a dream. Maybe from Nisargadatta, maybe from someone quoting him. Maybe you even wrote it down somewhere, underlined it, felt something shift for a moment, and then you went back to your life. You remember the sentence perfectly. You can repeat it right now, but it sits somewhere in the back of your understanding. Familiar, inoffensive, completely harmless. Nisargadatta wasn't being poetic. This comes from I Am That, a book that doesn't comfort, doesn't promise, and doesn't soften what it's pointing at. He was describing the exact mechanism by which your mind constructs a prison, and you haven't seen it because you're still inside it. Think about the world you live in, not the physical world, the one inside your experience, the one made of what you remember, what you expect, what you fear, what you want. Nobody else lives in that world. Your closest friend, the person who knows you best, they have never once perceived what you perceive. They've never seen through your eyes, felt your exact unease at 3 a.m, or inhabited the particular weight of your specific disappointments. They know words you've given them, descriptions, translations of something they can never directly access. Two people can be in the same room, facing the same situation, and be living in completely different worlds. Same walls, same air, same words spoken between them, and one is carrying the weight of something that happened 15 years ago, while the other is already in an imagined future that hasn't arrived. They are not in the same place. They have never been in the same place. Each one is sealed inside their own projection, and what they call sharing a moment is two private worlds briefly touching at the edges. The world you actually live in is entirely private, entirely yours, and entirely constructed. So what is it constructed from? Memory, almost entirely memory, not the past. The past is gone. Memory is a present moment event. Right now, your mind is generating images, narratives, emotional residues from things that no longer exist anywhere except as activity in consciousness. You call that activity your life. You call it what happened to you. You organize your entire sense of who you are around it. But it's happening now. It has always only been happening now. Nisargadatta doesn't say memory is bad. He says something stranger. That on these recordings, these traces, these fragments that dissolve the moment you try to hold them, you've built an entire sense of personal existence, a self, a story, a life that feels continuous, solid, real. Frail foundations, he calls them. The you that woke up this morning, that carries the weight of your history, that knows your name and your failures and your hopes. That you is assembled fresh in every moment from recordings. From a story, the mind tells itself about continuity. The story is convincing, not because it's well constructed, but because there is no gap between you and it. You don't experience yourself as someone telling a story. You experience yourself as the story, the character with that name, that history, those particular wounds and wants. The identification is so complete that questioning it feels like questioning whether you exist at all. That's what Nisargadatta is pointing at, not the content of the story, the fact that you took it for reality without ever examining the assumption underneath it. He uses the image of a man in a cinema, and if you've been watching this channel for a while, this one will feel familiar. Laughing and crying with the images on the screen, knowing perfectly well he's sitting in a chair, that it's only light projected on a surface. The film moves him completely, and somewhere underneath the movement, he knows it isn't real. You're like that man, except you've forgotten about the chair. The forgetting is gradual. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens when a memory surfaces and your chest tightens, when an imagined future makes your stomach drop, when a familiar story about yourself plays again and you believe it completely. Each time, you've moved from the chair into the screen without noticing the transition, and the film feels absolutely real from inside it. Nisargadatta doesn't say figure out how to get back to the chair. He says the shift is simpler. Turn your attention away from the screen, not toward something else, but toward the one who is watching. The awareness that was there before the film began, that is there while the film plays, that will be there after it ends. That's the whole movement, and it doesn't require anything to change in the film. Nisargadatta is clear about why this continues. You cannot wake from the dream because you still want the dream to go on. The part of you that has organized an entire identity around this particular dream, the characters, the storyline, what happened to you, who you are inside it, that part is not ready to see it as a dream. And the wanting itself is part of the dream, another movement of the same mind that built the story. So what do you do with that? He doesn't offer a technique. He points at something that's already happening. Look at this moment, not the story about this moment, the moment itself. What is here before you add anything to it? That awareness, the one present before the memory begins and before the story assembles itself, wasn't built from anything. It doesn't depend on the dream continuing. It is what makes the dream possible. He calls it the screen, the light that makes the film visible. Without it, there is no cinema, no images, no man in the chair, and it is what you are before any of it begins. Most people hear this and think it's pointing somewhere distant, enlightenment, liberation, a future state still to be earned. But Nisargadatta isn't pointing at a destination. He's pointing at what's already here. You are not the content of your experience. You are the awareness in which the content appears. The thoughts, the memories, the fears, the entire storyline of who you are. All of it arises in something that is not itself a thought, not itself a memory, not itself a story. That something is what you actually are, and it has never been damaged by anything that appeared in it. Nisargadatta calls it consciousness, not a personal possession, but the ground everything appears in. It was there before the particular story of your life began. It will remain when the film ends. The world didn't build you. You are what the world appears in. The world doesn't disappear when you see this. You still move through it. But something about the identification shifts. The part that was generating the suffering loses its ground. You didn't become indifferent. You remembered the chair. Nisargadatta puts it plainly. There is nothing wrong with the world. What is wrong is the way you look at it. The world you've been trying to fix or escape has never been the source. The source is the belief that you are inside it rather than the awareness in which it appears. And for now, just this question. If everything you call your life is assembled moment to moment from memory and imagination, if the world you inhabit is entirely your own private projection, then who is the one who is tired of living in it? If you made it here, thank you. There's more where this came from.